Straight up. I'm supposed to have court this morning, and I'm not going. Ah, no good. How about that? Yeah, man. Grand rising, everybody. I hope y'all are doing well. We're looking low on the numbers this morning, but it's okay. People will trickle in. This is going to be part two of that privilege, that pledge. No law requires you to record or pledge your private automobile. Yesterday, we did part one. If you missed that, you can go check that out. That's going to be part one. It's just in the live. So you just go to the live section. You should be able to see it. No problems. Grand rising to Lynn and grand rising to Brian. Emails broke. I had to come through the PIITP page. Well, that's the only way to get it through then. It's broken. It's a broken link and it's been sent off. So I'm sure people will figure out how to get off in here just like you did, Brian. So it's good to see that y'all are all in here. Tried to get it to work right if you really don't want to work right. So mistakes happen from time to time. I'm glad to see that y'all are all in here, though. I'm token up this morning. I don't know how y'all are feeling. How y'all feeling this morning? Y'all feeling good? Just quickly, I woke up this morning with another recusal of another judge. Pretty good to see that we're having recusals all around. Again, if you don't know what this is, my name is Cameron James Wilson. If this is your first time, this is Power Inherent in the People, and it is powered by Operation Rise Dome. Operation Rise Dome is a group of individuals. I know people don't like that word. Of people who are empowered with wisdom and knowledge and education to be able to go into the courts and essentially stand on their rights. And so I don't want to do too much long talk. If you want to become a member of Operation Wise Dome, you can by just going directly to piitp.com. It's simply that simple. If you go to piitp.com/Wise Dome, you can become a member, and it's pretty amazing, man. I can sit here and try and sell you all day, but I'm not. If you want to come in and be a part and experience things that we're experiencing doing on this side, it's pretty amazing. And I just want you to come join me. I think you'd understand it's pretty amazing what we're doing. Beyond that, though, what I do want to do is I want to get into part two of today. Again, you ain't got to pledge nothing. You're a creation of the Creator. Bowing down and not knowing the power that you have is not good enough for me. I want you to know who you are. And I want you to know the power in which you have. And I want you to stand on that, not with, not with so much pride, essentially, but with humility, with wisdom, and with sound knowledge to keep you out of harm's way, or at least to get you remedy in relation to the travesties in which you're having here. Grand rising Sovereign Seeker, grand rising Christopher, grand rising Doug as well. Yesterday we left off on page 9, so we're just going to continue from there. But before, gotta make sure this joint's still popping off. You dig what I'm talking about? We big blazing over here, man. We big blazing. So, continuing on from yesterday, in Thompson versus Smith, Chief of Police, Supreme Court of Appeals of Virginia, quote, it states, constitutional law, citizens' right to travel upon the public ways and transport his property thereon in ordinary course of life and business is a common right. The right of a citizen to do so, the right of a citizen so to do that is that which he has under his right to enjoy life, liberty, and to acquire property, and to pursue happiness and safety. Automobiles and highways. Citizens' right to travel upon public highways includes right to use usual conveyances of time. You can't be like, oh, back then they were just talking about it. No. Citizens' right to travel upon the public highways includes the right to use usual conveyances of the time. The time period in which we in, bro. We're trying to use these case laws to say that, oh, they were just applying it then at that time, including horse-drawn carriages and even automobiles for ordinary purposes of life and business. Ordinary purposes means if I'm going to my mama house, if I'm going to take my kids out to play at the park, if I'm traveling to my friends down in Troy Grover, down in Oregon, like, y'all can't tell me nothing. Injunction. Injunction lies against enforcement. Okay, this is why I'm telling you the injunctions are important. Injunction lies against the enforcement of void statutes or ordinances where legal remedy is not as complete or adequate as injunction, or where threatened or attempted enforcement will do irreparable injury to persons in interfering with exercise of common fundamental personal rights. By irreparable injury is meant an injury of such a nature that fair and reasonable redress may not be had in court of law, and that to refuse the injunction would be a denial of justice. This right here is golden. If you don't know, injunctions are it. Okay. That's why I ain't going to court today, because I ain't got to go to court today, because I know they have no jurisdiction. I know it's a court of limited jurisdiction. I know that the cases and the charges are fraud. I know that things have been put in place so that if anything was to continue, it would be a violation of my constitutional right. So if there's sets in place that would cause me irreparable injury and or harm, why would I put myself into that situation? If I know that that's what's coming, I'm not gonna have I'm not gonna have that placed against me. I'm just gonna end up filing an injunction later if they wanna bring something forward. Then we'll file a civil suit because they know that they have a ministerial duty to do what they're supposed to do, which is to drop illegal charges that are null and void, ab initio. We ain't playing with them no more, man. I'm standing on my I've never been scared. I'm not giving them jurisdiction by even showing what? What? What I look like? Okay. No. Constitutional law section 101, right to travel. And let them bring out a warrant. Guess what? I'm gonna quash that too. I'm gonna quash that too. 5. The nature of the federal union and constitutional concept of personal liberty unite to require that all citizens be free to travel throughout the length and breadth of the United States, uninhibited by statutes, rules, or regulations which reasonably burden or restrict this movement. Unreasonably. Did I harm someone? Was I in the process of a crime? Did you suspect me of an actual crime, not a violation or infraction? 6. Although not explicitly mentioned in the federal constitution, the right freely to travel from one state to another is a basic right under the Constitution. Constitutional law section 101. Law chilling assertion of right. If a law has no other purpose than to chill, that means to stifle, that means to strangle the assertion of constitutional rights by penalizing those who choose to exercise them, then it is patently unconstitutional. Shapiro versus Thompson. Very easy to understand. These types of things are, these quotes are so well placed in law that what ends up happening is that when anybody in wise don't be starting to bring forth, I don't want to say anybody, but when some, because we do have some judges that are straight up on the rights around here, man. We just got a recusal this morning. You dig what I'm saying? Like, my boy I can't pull it over to show y'all, but we just, actually, I can make it happen for you boys. Let me see real quick. Really? Pull this over to show y'all real quick. My boy. What'd he say? Today, I had court this morning. The judge has disqualified herself. Good job, Willie. Today, another judge. Bye-bye. See you later. Willie out here getting it. We ain't playing, man. These people gonna stop violating our rights. What y'all thought this was? I'm for real. Anytime there's any prejudice or bias in the case, you can disqualify that judge, y'all. Call that shit out. What you mean, bro? Although not explicitly mentioned in the federal constitution, the right freely to travel. Okay, yep, we went through this. Yep, so excuse me. So with all of that in mind, cite, deliver the cases above, and you have given the agency knowledge. You have given the agency notice. Does anybody, just real quickly in the chat, I got some wise domians up in this thing. Does anybody in the chat know when we bring notice to a judge and what that is called? Let's see if we can get this for anybody new in here. We're bringing forth chess pieces, like I like to say, into the court record. What kind of notice are we bringing to the judge? To judicial notice. You bringing in your own separate document, judicial notice, that is letting the courts know the game pieces of case. I know Doug hates it when I say case law, but case opinion, okay, to set the game board up as far as court is concerned on what they are bound to abide by. You're bringing in the rules. You're bringing in your own rules that help protect you. Like any of those games back in the day, you used to play with all the soldiers and you put them in place. You bring some up here and then you bring some up here. I'm bringing all of mine out, all of them. I'm not giving the state the eligibility to be able to be like, okay, well, they didn't bring this in and they must not know about that. So we're just going to operate like we don't know about it. Nah, bro. We know. Cameron knows. We know about it. We know about that doctrine. Yep. Yeah, we're going to call an evidentiary hearing for that. You didn't know. Yeah, like, bruh, they shift the burden over to the state. If they not doing their duty, it's failure to prosecute. No, man, I'm just, hey, man, this shit gets real. And when they come to you, and just let it be known, when they come to you on some, these are sovereign citizen theories, you're failing to prosecute by not just getting to answering or responding to everything that I've brought forth, essentially. Under U.S.C. Title 42, Section 1986, actions for neglect to prevent its fate. Every person who having knowledge that any wrong conspired or to be done and having power to prevent or aid in preventing neglects or refuses so to do shall be liable to the party injured. And the means of knowledge, especially where it consists of public record, is deemed in law to be knowledge of facts. Get them? As the means of knowledge if it appears that the individual had notice or information of circumstances which would put him on inquiry, which, if followed, would lead to knowledge, or that the facts were presumptively within his knowledge. He will have deemed to have had actual knowledge of the facts and may be subsequently liable for any damage or injury. You, therefore, have been given knowledge of the facts as it pertains to this conspiracy to commit a fraud against you. I state now that I will not waive any fundamental right as, quote, waivers of fundamental rights must be knowing, intentional, involuntary acts done with sufficient awareness of the relevant circumstances and likely consequences. U.S. versus Brady, also U.S. versus Odell, both in 1970 and 1947, unquote. And that the agency committed fraud, deceit, coercion, willful intent to injure another, malicious act, RICO activity, and conspired by, give me one moment, my screen just froze. Unconscionable contract. Unconscionable contract. Unconscionable contract. Ding, 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 ding. Quote, one which no sensible man, not under delusion or duress or in distress, would make, and such as no honest and fair man would accept, unquote. Franklin Fire Insurance Company versus Home. Well, that's pretty damaging. That's pretty damaging. One which no sensible man, not under even delusion or duress or in distress, would make, and such as no honest man, no honest and fair man would even accept at all. Looking at this thing like, bro, you telling me I got to give up my right to pay you for something that I don't need so that you can monitor me and then punish me when you see something that you don't like, or that if I don't just continue paying you? Bro, no one would get in that contract. That's a mob contract. What you talking about? Quote, party cannot be bound by contract that he has not made or authorized, unquote. Alexander versus Bosworth. So them telling me again that I'm required to do something and you forcing a contract on me, which is you must have a driver's license. Bro, I cannot be bound to that contract that I did not authorize. That's what y'all not understanding. They trying to put something against you that you are not bound to obey in the first place. Because again, administration of a free man is repugnant to his freedom. Like you can't sit here and tell me I'm free and then require me to do something. That's not how this works. That's not how this works. Oh, anyway. And therefore, Failure to reveal, quote, failure to reveal the material facts of a license or any agreement is immediate grounds for estoppel, unquote. Failure to reveal the material facts of a license or any agreement is immediately grounds for estoppel. Thank you, unquote. We got estoppel right now in a couple federal cases going on, an appeal. Yeah. Lobu versus Olrazo. The fraudulently presumed quasi-contractus that binds the declarant with the city-state agency is void for fraud ab initio from the very beginning, since the de facto or the fake, the facade city-state cannot produce the material fact, consideration, inducement, or the jurisdictional clause who is subject to said statute. They don't have a jurisdictional clause because they're just a state agency. That's why when you start getting into, look, y'all gonna make me start hunting now and showing y'all stuff. That's why when you start getting into administrative law and understanding the administrative law of things, right? Once you start getting in here and start understanding the administrative law side of things, what you're able to do is know just really where they are and really just their place. When you understand their place, as far as at least a court of limited jurisdiction on a municipal level, what you have to understand is they're really not even like a judge. They're not acting in their judicial capacity whatsoever. Especially a court of limited jurisdiction. They're nothing more than a clerk, bro. Like, watch. Yeah, let me show you real quick. So I'm sure these are things that you didn't really know, and I'm glad that I'm able to possibly bring some of this to y'all for the first time. But this is administrative law, okay? And judges who become involved in the enforcement of mere statutes now, okay? Whether they are civil or criminal in the nature of how they're bringing it forth, at least the state. That's just quasi. Well, I'm bringing this up because it's ringing the bell as far as otherwise. It's definitely quasi. Act as mere clerks of the involved agency, unquote. Okay, let's read this again. Judges who become involved in the enforcement of mere statutes in the civil or criminal in nature and otherwise, meaning quasi, act as mere clerks of the involved agency, unquote. Casey Davis, administrative law. Okay. Now, what does that mean? That means that they're nothing more than the clerk, at least the highest one, in relation to the municipality, right? Because it's a court of limited jurisdiction. Now, quote, their supposed court being thus a court of limited jurisdiction, like I just said, as a mere extension of the involved agency for mere superior reviewing purposes. That's all that's going on. So essentially, it's the state over here or deputy attorney working for the city, utilizing the city to try and impose something that's a constitutional violation, first off. And you're allowing yourself to go in there and be subject to that just by showing up. But you must remember, it's just a court of limited jurisdiction. It's a mere extension of the police department. And it's only for mere reviewing purposes. So, when acting to enforce a statute, the judge of the municipal court is acting as an administrative officer and not in his judicial capacity. Courts in administering or enforcing statutes do not act judicially, but mere administratively, meaning that they all work for each other in the first place. Admin, money, we work for each other. It is basic in our law that an administrative agency may act only within an area of jurisdiction marked out for it by law. If an individual does not come within the coverage of the particular agency's enabling legislation, the agency is without power to take any action which affects him. Endicott versus Perkins. So I wanted to pull that out real quick because I seen this part about quasi contracts. And where we at? There we go. Okay. See, master servant employee relationship, CJS. Personal private liberty. Since the consideration is the lifeblood of any agreement or quasi-agreement, contractus, quote, the absence of such from the record is a major manifestation of want of jurisdiction, of want of jurisdiction, of want of jurisdiction. Since without evidence of consideration, there can be no presumption of even a quasi-contractus. Such is the importance of a consideration. Reading R.R. Company versus Johnson, Pennsylvania. Without a contract, no recording of the MTO, for consideration, there is no DMV, government, etc. jurisdiction, as the property does not reside in the colorable fictitious territory as evidenced in the Supreme Court site below. Jeez. Jeez. You want the music? Who is it? I got you. This is my boy KO. This is my boy KO. Here you go. Link in the chat. Go visit my boy KO. KO for the beats. You dig? Oh yeah, they can want in one hand and do whatever they want with the other. I'm gonna tell you like this, it's all gonna be one. So in Wheeling Steel Corporation versus Fox, 298 U.S. 193 in 1936, it states, property taxes can be on tangibles or intangibles. In order to have a situs for taxation, a basis for imposing the tax, tangible property, physical property, must reside within the territorial jurisdiction of the taxing authority and intangibles. Under U.S.C. 42, 1982, property rights of citizens further evidences the above position that the city or state cannot take land because they do not have jurisdiction. It states that federal or state government agencies must have a monetary or proprietary interest in your real private property in order to have jurisdiction over it. If your land has no government grant funding or is not a subsidized government project, then agencies have neither. Demand any public servant, said agency, to provide the legal document that allows any federal or state agency to supersede or bypass Title 42 U.S.C. Section 1982 and or Section 1441, Title 42, Section 1983. Further, and y'all already know, civil action for deprivation of rights further protects declarant private property. Quote, the state cannot diminish rights of the people, Hurtado versus California. Quote, to say that one may not defend his own property is usurpation of power by legislature, O'Connell versus Judge. Quote, a state may not impose a charge for the enjoyment of a right granted by the federal constitution, Murdoch versus Pennsylvania. Quote, the power to tax involves the power to destroy, McCullough versus Maryland. Quote, all subjects over which the sovereign power of the state extends are objects of taxation, but those over which it does not extend are exempt from taxation. This proposition may almost be pronounced as self-evident. The sovereignty of the state extends to everything which exists by its authority or its permission. Unquote. McCullough versus Maryland. U.S. adopted common laws of England with the Constitution, Caldwell versus Hill, to be that statutes which would deprive a citizen of rights of person or property without a regular trial, according to the course and uses of common law, would not be law of the land. Pope versus Henderson. And this one is important to me because deprive a citizen of the rights of person or property without a regular trial. That means like every time someone's getting a car towed, like you're being deprived of your property, right? But you ain't gone to trial yet based on the allegation that's being brought forth against you. And it really be just based on an infraction. And then what they even go into doing is the cops will go in to say, oh, but you committed a crime. That's a crime. It's like, bro, did the academy not teach you the differences of an infraction, a citation, a violation, and a crime? Like, do you not have that knowledge base? And if you don't have that knowledge base, I'm sorry, but you're supposed to. And if you don't, that means that you're showing your ignorance that you wasn't trained properly, both through the academy and that you are not regularly trained through your department to know the differences between 2, 4, 5, 6 different examples I just gave. So then what does that mean? You can be personally held liable because if you're going to enforce the law, you need to know the process of the law. And if you don't know the process of the law, you must respond in damages if I am harmed in any form or fashion. That is a fact that cannot be refuted. It's part of case law that will case opinion that we're about to read. Ignorance of the law is no excuse. It's not my fault. You should know how this works. And if you don't, you're still responsible. If you hit my car on accident and you still didn't mean to do it, you still responsible. Like, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know. You're still responsible. Like, what? What? The phrase, quote, phrase, common law, found in this clause is used in contradistinction to equity and admiralty and maritime jurisprudence, unquote. To all of them. To all of them. Parsons versus Bedford. Quote, if the common law can try the cause and give full redress, that alone takes away the admiratory jurisdiction. Unquote. Ramsey versus Allegri. Inferior court. The term may denote any court subordinate to the chief tribunal in the particular judicial system, but it is commonly used as the designation of a court of special, limited, or statutory jurisdiction, whose record must show the existence of attaching of jurisdiction in any given case, in order to give presumptive validity to its judgment. This is in regards to Heard's guardianship. The courts have further decreed that want of jurisdiction makes, and again, this is the same thing that's happening to me right now, and why I'm not even going to court today. It's want of jurisdiction. They want to have jurisdiction over me. I'm not giving it to them. Everything that y'all got going on is a constitutional violation and will cause me irreparable injury and harm. I'm not participating in that. Quote, all acts of judges, magistrates, U.S. marshals, sheriffs, local police, all void and not just voidable. Nestor versus Hershey. A void judgment. Quote, one which has no legal force or effect, invalidity of which may be asserted by any person whose rights are affected at any time and at any place directly or collaterally. Reynolds versus volunteer state life insurance. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's all void. It's all void. Avoidable judgment. One apparently valid, but in truth wanting some material respect. It has no true jurisdiction. It has no true cause. Everything as far as evidence is displaced. Everything has been recanted. What else are you doing? It's all void. Malicious prosecution. Lawsuit, irreparable injury. Property must be devoted, pledged to the public with your consent and being fully compensated for such. Quote, in one of the so-called elevator cases, that of Munn versus Illinois, it is said, when, therefore, one devotes his property to a use in which the public have an interest, he, in effect, grants to the public an interest in that use and must submit to be controlled by the public for the common good to the extent of interest he has thus created. But so long as he uses his property for private use, and in the absence of devoting it to public use, the public has no interest therein, which entitles it to a voice in its control. Other case to the same effect are Budd versus New York, Williams Steamboat Company versus People's Company, Monongahela Nav Company versus the United States. Indeed, our attention is directed to no authority in this state or elsewhere holding otherwise. Adam, quote, subjecting petitioner property to the use of the public as common carriers constitutes taking of the same, admits of no controversy. Whenever a law deprives the owner of a beneficial use and free enjoyment of his property or imposes restraints upon such use and enjoyment that materially affect its value without legal process or just compensation, it deprives him of his property within the meaning of the Constitution. It is not necessary, in order to render the state obnoxious to the restraints of the Constitution, that it must in terms or effect authorize the actual physical taking of the property or the thing itself, so long as it affects its free use and enjoyment, or the power of disposition at the will of the owner. You see what they're saying? Like, how we go from so much knowing and bringing so much truth and so much power into people back then in relation to what they knew to be free, because it was so hard for them to have to fathom again being told what to do in this slavery mindset and this heavy taxation. Like, you can tell that the freedom rang at this period in time through these people, that the duty to make sure that everybody knew that, yo, y'all ain't got no power over them. I don't know who y'all think y'all are over here trying to say that. Let's make it clear. You're free. Y'all, you can use your, but like nowadays, it's like, no, You're bad. You must be controlled. We have public rules. It's completely switched. It's like they finally overran like the people who have always been trying to have more power and dominance over the public and the free will of us as living beings has overpowered the people of freedom. And it's really all been based through fear and propaganda through the Hegelian dialectic method. But at the same time, it's like that's what we here for is to empower everybody with more knowledge so that ceases to stop because freedom will always reign supreme. It can never be stifled fully. That is the ultimate way of the great creator, for that is the will of all. You can't stifle or stop it. Call me the light skin, call me the little darker tone, copper colored William Wallace in this thing. What I mean, man? I'm coming through bright in this thing, man. This strong. What? I'm not giving up mine, bro. I got kids, bro. And I'm gonna have grandkids and great grandkids, and my lineage is gonna be great. We all finna stand up for arms and be the best that we can be. Y'all get them lights up. Mr. Lewis, in his work on eminent domain, third edition, section 11 says, a law which authorizes the taking of private property without compensation cannot be considered as due process of law in a free government. Oh, got him. Got him. What's up, Joe? What's up, Sly Shy? What's up, Lim? What's up, Left Eye? It is beyond the power of a state by legislation fiat. It is beyond the power of a state by legislation fiat. Listen up. Listen up. Quote, it is beyond the power of a state by legislative fiat to convert property used exclusively in the business of a private carrier into a public utility, or to make the owner of a public carrier for that would be taking private property for public use without just compensation, which no state can do consistently with the due process of law clause of the 14th Amendment. Producers Transportation Company versus Railroad Commission. Now, let's get into some of the binding shackles of government. Is the Constitution. To it, the laws of nature are the laws of God, the great creator, the I am, most high on high, whose authority can be superseded by no power on earth. The legislature, see, and this is why I be telling y'all, man. This is why I be telling y'all, man. If you understand and get down to the depths of everything, I know people be wanting to be like, yo, Cameron, I'm gonna go in there on this UCC route. And it's like, yeah, well, we just had my boy Andy in New York get stifled down by that, and then he didn't relay the UCC code directly over to the statute through, New York statute codes, so like they, I'm gonna go in like, hey man, y'all do what y'all want to do. I'm just gonna tell you the most powerful thing that you have in this motherfucking realm is the comprehension of knowing that you are a creation of the creator. You are God, bro. You are God, girl. Like all of y'all are parts of God. You got to understand that what makes everything move and shake and work within you is God. So the laws of nature are the laws of God. You are nature. You are God, whose authority can be superseded by no power on earth. Because this is all God. A legislature must not obstruct our obedience to him, from whose punishments they cannot protect us. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, I got a moral duty. I got a moral duty here. God is watching me. So for me to have this knowledge, and then for God to say to me, the Most High, the great creator, and say, bring it forth. And then for me to sit here and not bring it forth and stand on truth and stand on honor and integrity and wisdom and not help the next person and the next neighbor and the next person that I know is God watching me, saying, I'm watching you, boy. You better be on it. You better be on your P's and Q's. You better be the best you can. You got a lot of making up to do. I know it. Again, the laws of nature are the laws of God, whose authority can be superseded by no power on earth. A legislature must not obstruct our obedience to him, from whose punishments they cannot protect us. All human constitutions which contradict his cannot protect us. All human constitutions which contradict his, God's law, we are in conscience bound. We are in conscience bound to disobey. 1772, Robin versus Hardaway. Like, you tell me something else now. That ain't gonna work. I'm bound by the breath that I take every single day in recognition and praise and gratitude for the great creator. That I am bound to stand on God's law. If I succumb, then I'm not living in free will. I'm not living like the godly nature that was bestowed upon me, which is to bestow greatness. This isn't about I'm fighting you. This is about please learn my rights. Please respect me as a great creation. This is the only life I have. Like, it is the most amazing thing, bro. And to know that I died and already got the eligibility to come back, but yet at any time I could go. And you're trying to stifle that amazing feeling and knowing of just living free, truly. Because you said so. Because you said so. That's not how this works, bro. They did take an oath. They did take an oath. If the state were to be given the power to destroy rights through taxation, then the framers, our ancestors of this great country, of our constitutions wrote said documents in vain. A republic is not an easy form of government, nor is a self-governing republic, right? Nor is a self-governing republic. But we have to be self-governing because that's what this is. We live in a self-governing republic. I know a lot of people don't want to believe that. I know a lot of people want to say I'm mistaken. I know a lot of people want to get really hurt to see things such as this. But this is truth in all actuality. Okay, 1940, May 3rd, okay, this joint resolution was signed by the president. It was authorizing the president of the United States of America to proclaim I am an American Citizenship Day for the recognition, observance, and commemoration of the American citizenship. And in the preamble, it says, whereas some 2 million young men and women in the United States each year reach the age of 21 years, which was the age of majority at that time, rather than 18 now. And whereas it is desirable that the sovereign citizens, wow, okay, what about sovereign citizens, of our nation be prepared for the responsibilities and impressed with the significance, wow, of their status in our self-governing republic. In our self-governing republic. The president signed this. So with all these people that talk shit about what a sovereign citizen is, I think, again, the propaganda got to all of us. But again, by proper education, wisdom, and enlightening ourselves just a little bit more, we can start to put the puzzle together to see how the etymology of certain words, again, translates over time. It's all about knowledge. Knowledge is everything. Knowledge is power. It gives you the entitlement to say, hey, I know, may I teach you? Instead of getting belligerent and always wanting to fight back. Oh, I know this. And, hey, let me actually show you some things real quick how this works. Let me bring you down through history and the true rights that you have, because you are powerful, man. And it gives you eligibility to really give your testimony of how great the great creator really is. A republic is not an easy form of government to live under. And when the responsibility of citizenship is evaded, democracy decays and authoritarianism takes over. Earl Warren, in a republic, if you can keep it. It is fundamental principle in our institutions, indispensable to the preservation of public liberty. Public liberty. This whole public law and public safety is not public liberty. Public liberty is at the forefront, okay? It's kind of like if a cop brings a charge against you, but there's constitutional violations. Well, the constitutional violations are on the forefront, not on the back end. Those must be addressed first. that one of the separate departments of government shall not usurp powers committed by the Constitution to another department. Mulger versus Kansas. An unconstitutional law is not law. It confers no rights, imposes no duties, and affords no protection. Norton versus Shelby County. Quote, primacy of position in our state constitution is accorded the Declaration of Rights, thus emphasizing the importance of those basic and inalienable rights of personal liberty, freedom, self-governance, and private property, which are thereby reserved and guaranteed to the people and protected from arbitrary invasion, right? You lock your door, you get out your car, they don't have a warrant for a crime, yet they go into your car anyways just to get your information. That's an arbitrary invasion. Or impairment from any governmental order. The Declaration of Rights constitutes a limitation upon the powers of every department of the state government. State ex rel. Davis versus Stewart. Now, quote, the rights of the individual are not derived from governmental agencies, either municipal, state, or federal, or even from the Constitution. They exist inherently in every man by endowment of the Creator. Let's restart. I'm going to read this to you. Agents, either municipal, state, or federal, or even from the Constitution. They exist inherently in every man by the endowment of the Creator and are merely reaffirmed in the Constitution and restricted only to the extent that they have been voluntarily surrendered by the citizenship to the agencies of government. That means individually, by consent. The people's rights are not derived from the government whatsoever, but the government's authority comes from the people. The Constitution but states again these rights already existing, and when legislative encroachment by the nation, state, or municipality invade these original and permanent rights, it is the duty of the courts to so declare and to afford the necessary relief. That's City of Dallas versus Mitchell, 1922. Okay. There's a lot of things out here, man, that they just got wrong. This is what we're gonna leave out for today. We're gonna come into a part three. Um, I'm hoping that these quotes, I'm hoping that this knowledge, I'm hoping that this case opinion is giving you the insight that you need to kind of say, I really do have power, right? Um, I hope it really is giving you I really hope it is giving you the power that you need. Someone says the audio's cutting out. I was checking to see if I could change a mic or anything, like, or if everything's fine. Do I sound okay? TikTok, no? It's probably not working well. Probably on a wrong mic. Let me see. Watch this. I'm coming right back. I told you I'd be right back. I wanted to refresh. I didn't know what was going on with my mic, so I wanted to make sure it's working. Someone says the audio is cutting out, so I just wanted to refresh real quick. But like I was saying, hopefully this is empowering you. Because once you start really figuring out that all power is inherent in the people, you can really hit the gavel on their ass. You know what I'm saying? All power is inherent in the people. Okay. All power. Thanks. Shout out Sarah Hirschberger for sending me this. Got my gavel. It says, all power is inherent in the people. I am you. We are us. All a part of the great I am. It's amazing. I just want y'all to remember, YouTube cool. Sometimes my computer just mess up. I need to actually upgrade. And but I hope a lot of these quotes are empowering you. You know, it's like within self-governing, bro. I'm not gonna promote the book right now, but in self-governing, bro, like if you all want to pick that up, like it's empowering to know the knowledge so that way you can utilize it. It's the doctrines, it's the maxims, it's history. It's really just knowing history. And once you're able to research and know history just a little bit more, you're able to empower yourself to speak on what you know to be. Constitutional violations cannot exist for them to still bring charges against you. If there's any violation by them in any aspect, that has to be dealt with first. That can't be dealt with secondary or last or later. That's not. No, you are the most important because you only have this life. And we are all here to uplift each other in this one life that we have. And that should be the most important you realize. Like in this life, what's more important? The most important thing is empowering the next person so that they can empower you, so that you can live a fruitful life. Like, you have to realize This is it right now. You don't remember anything before. You have right now, and that's all you're promised. So make the best of it. I love you all. I am you. We are us, all a part of this great I am and experience. Till the next one. Part 3 coming up tomorrow. See you. Bye.